Welcome to this explainer. If you're looking to upgrade your tech this year, you've probably noticed that the 2026 iPhone landscape presents a fascinating and, frankly, a kind of confusing paradox. Choosing the right device just isn't as simple as it used to be. We're looking at a market where newer isn't always labeled Pro, and the Pro label doesn't necessarily mean you're getting the absolute newest device on the block. Apple's lineup right now spans three very different philosophies, packed into similarly sized bodies, and today we're going to untangle exactly what that means for you.
So, here's how we're going to break this all down today. We'll start with the 2026 iPhone dilemma, dive into design, build, and display, then check out performance and battery life. After that, we'll hit the creator-camera divide and wrap it all up by finding your perfect iPhone match. Let's get right into it.
Part 1. The 2026 iPhone Dilemma. Let's look at the rather awkward reality of Apple's current lineup right now. We've basically got three main contenders: the brand new, value-driven iPhone 17, the discontinued but titanium-clad iPhone 16 Pro, and the absolute behemoth, the current top-of-the-line iPhone 17 Pro Max. When you map out the high-level specs across these three, you get a really fascinating picture. You've got the base iPhone 17 starting at $79, rocking the new A19 chip and giving you a solid 30 hours of video playback. Way up at the top, the 17 Pro Max flexes the A19 Pro chip, an insane 39 hours of battery, and $1,199 price tag. But then, there's the iPhone 16 Pro right in the middle. It's stuck with last generation's A18 Pro chip and a lower 27-hour battery life. It's totally the weird middle child of this year's buying cycle.
And that brings us to the iPhone 16 Pro paradox. Think about it. This was Apple's absolute top-tier flagship just a year ago, right? Premium titanium frame, full Pro camera system, the works. Yet it's been totally discontinued from Apple's own stores. It is literally backroom inventory now, pushed exclusively to authorized resellers while legacy stock lasts. It's kind of crazy how fast the ultimate status symbol becomes a clearance item. This completely changes how we should evaluate it. It's not really a standard option anymore. It's a legacy item you've got to hunt down, which shifts its value proposition entirely.
Moving on to Part 2. Design, build, and display. Apple's philosophy has actually shifted dramatically this year when it comes to durability and aesthetics, and the materials tell a pretty compelling story.
When it comes to the physical build, the iPhone 17 keeps things incredibly light and simple. It comes in at just 6.24 ounces and 0.31 inches thick. It's the slimmest of the bunch, using a standard aluminum frame. The 17 Pro Max? Totally opposite direction. It is heavy, 8.22 ounces, but it brings in this brand new aluminum unibody design with ultra-durable ceramic shield 2 on both the front and the back. But here's the kicker, the really ironic part. If you absolutely must have a titanium frame in 2026, you actually have to buy the iPhone 16 Pro, the oldest phone on the list.
But honestly, the biggest surprise here is the screen brightness. You would assume the Pro label automatically guarantees a better display, right? Well, actually scratch that. The standard, cheaper, non-Pro iPhone 17 hits a peak outdoor brightness of 3,000 nits. That completely matches the massive 17 Pro Max. Meanwhile, last year's 16 Pro is capped at just 2,000 nits, so if you step out into direct sunlight, the cheaper, newer iPhone is going to absolutely crush last year's Premium Pro model. That is a huge practical win for the standard 17.
Part 3. Performance and battery life. Let's peek under the hood and unpack the massive generational leap in silicon architecture.
So, the iPhone 17 and 17 Pro Max both run on the brand new A19 family of chips. This is next-gen silicon packed with new neural accelerators. The 16 Pro, on the other hand, is running the A18 Pro, which is officially a full generation behind and is missing that specific new neural architecture. Now, to be fair, all three phones easily handle Apple Intelligence and hardware ray tracing. But if you're hitting heavy on-device AI tasks, or if you're the type of person who keeps their phone for, say, 4 or 5 years, those A19 chips offer much safer, future-proofed silicon.
And the real-world payoff for that newer, more efficient silicon? Battery life. The older 16 Pro tops out at 27 hours of maximum video playback. The base iPhone 17 actually beats it, hitting 30 hours. And then there's the 17 Pro Max, soaring all the way up to an absolutely unbelievable 39 hours of playback. These new chips are literally just doing way more with less power.
Which brings us to a staggering number:
45%. That is the massive leap in video playback time you gain by jumping from the 16 Pro up to that massive 17 Pro Max chassis. I mean, if battery anxiety is a real thing for you, a 45% increase isn't just a spec sheet bump, it is a total game changer for your daily life.
Part 4. The creator-camera divide. Because, let's be real, the most crucial point of this entire explainer actually comes down to the cameras. This is where a true chasm opens up between the casual snappers and the professional creators.
Let's walk through these camera setups. The iPhone 17 has a really great dual 48-megapixel system, but it has zero telephoto lens. None. That is hands down its biggest limitation for creators. The 16 Pro gives you a 12-megapixel telephoto with a 5x optical zoom, but you're stuck with an older 12-megapixel front camera. Then you look at the 17 Pro Max, and it's just an absolute beast. Triple 48-megapixel lenses across the board, an incredible 8x optical zoom, and a brand new 18-megapixel center stage front camera. If you're shooting wildlife, events, or anything at a distance, the base 17 simply cannot hang with the pros.
And if you're shooting professional video, you absolutely need to know about this feature, Genlock. Basically, it's a pro tool that allows for frame-accurate synchronization of multiple external camera rigs. So if you're running a multi-camera YouTube shoot or an indie film set, this is absolutely essential. Out of our 3 contenders, Genlock support is entirely exclusive to the iPhone 17 Pro Max. This right here is exactly why high-end YouTubers and filmmakers look at the 17 Pro Max not just as a smartphone, but as legitimate production gear. Of course, if you're shooting all that glorious high-end footage, you actually have to get it onto a computer. And here's where the base iPhone 17 shows its limits yet again. It has a USB-C port, sure, but it is restricted to USB 2 speeds. Both the 16 Pro and the 17 Pro Max support USB 3, which is up to 20 times faster. Moving massive 4K ProRes files over USB 2 on the base 17 is going to be painfully slow. It's a classic Apple move, nudging power users right toward that Pro tier.
Part 5. Your perfect iPhone match. We've laid out all the evidence, the specs, the screens, the batteries, the cameras. Now let's piece this giant puzzle together and find your exact match based on your actual lifestyle.
Because really, this whole thing revolves around one number, $400. That is the exact price gap between the base iPhone 17 at $799 and the 17 Pro Max at $1199. It kind of forces you to step back and ask, are those pro camera upgrades, that massive battery, and those blazing fast transfer speeds actually worth an extra $400 to you? So let's break down exactly who should buy what.
You should absolutely pull the trigger on the iPhone 17 if you are an everyday user who just wants the best possible value. For $799, it now comes with 256 gigs of base storage. They finally dropped that 128 gig tier, which is amazing. You're getting the blazing fast next-gen A19 chip, a better battery than last year's Pro, and that retina-searing 3000 nits screen. If you're mostly just browsing, streaming, snapping casual photos, and you really don't care about a telephoto lens or USB 3 file transfers, the iPhone 17 is undeniably the smart buy. It is the reigning champ for the vast majority of people.
Now, you should really only buy the iPhone 16 Pro if you're a serious bargain hunter and you can find it heavily discounted at an authorized reseller. It makes sense if you literally must have that premium titanium frame, or if you're looking for a budget-friendly entry into a pro camera system with ProRes. But keep in mind, you are actively choosing to run a generation behind on the 18 Pro chip. You're getting lower screen brightness and a smaller battery. It only really makes sense if that reseller discount is massive enough to justify buying older tech.
And finally, buy the iPhone 17 Pro Max if you are a serious content creator or videographer. If you absolutely need that 48-megapixel telephoto lens with the 8x optical zoom to get the perfect shot, if you require pro filmmaking tools like Genlock and Apple Log 2 for advanced color grading, and of course, if you want that absolute maximum 39-hour battery life because you are out shooting all day long. The 17 Pro Max really isn't just a smartphone. It's a dedicated, incredibly durable piece of professional production gear wrapped in an aluminum unibody.
So that brings us to the ultimate question you have to ask yourself before you hit checkout. Are you buying a phone or are you buying a camera? If you just need a phone, save yourself the $400 and grab the incredibly capable iPhone 17. But if your work, your passion, or your channel depends on mobile videography, you aren't just buying a phone, you are investing in a mobile production studio. And if that's the case, the 17 Pro Max has your name written all over it. Think about how you actually capture the world, and your choice is going to be crystal clear.